How's it going, guys? Another NASCAR Heat 3 video. Just touching up on some stuff maybe I missed on the previous video. If you didn't see it, go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. I also uploaded it just a few hours ago, so go to the channel, see it, check it out. But there are a few things that I missed that I probably should have touched on, and also a developer interview from Tech Raptor, so I'm gonna play that as well for you guys. You could just listen in. And Ren Vickers, who did most of the developer interviews last year as well, just confirmed some things for me. Like, one of my questions was, can you own a Cup Series team, a Xfinity Series team, a Truck Series team? You can. You can own those teams, and you can build up from there, hire employees, upgrade your car. Not sure about hiring drivers, but you can do upgrading the car, doing that stuff, be an owner-driver, kind of like Tony Stewart was back in the day. Now, before we get to that interview, one thing I wanted to touch on that is in the interview, but also one thing that's not in the interview, is online. I never talked about online in the previous video, and something called stories. So online, there's going to be esports tournaments. You can compete against others from across the globe in daily and weekly tournaments. You can lay down hot laps, which is what I'm good at. I can't race, I can only be a hot lapper. And you can basically be in tournaments that will conclude at Homestead. So that should make the online community a little bit better, as well as stories. Now, this is something that I can't believe I overlooked, because this is pretty cool. So before the green flag waves, you can get live updates on your race. Watch as a driver gets sent to the back for a tech violation, and get updates on who's having a good weekend and who's struggling. So basically, before the race starts, let's say Martin Truex Jr. could fail a pre-race inspection, he has to go to the back. So this throws in a different dynamic into the races, which I think is really cool, and I'm very upset with myself that I missed that out, because that's really, really cool. And let's see how it works in-game. I'm very excited with how it sounds, but let's see how it works in-game, and hopefully that works pretty well. So now let's go to the developer interview.
What's up, it's Nick with Tech Raptor here, and we're going to be talking about NASCAR Heat 3. What separates this from NASCAR Heat 2? Let's just start with that.
Great question. So what separates it from NASCAR Heat 2 is that we have added more online tournament functionality. So we still have the 40-car multiplayer, but now we have more structured online tournaments and the ability to compete a little more against those online opponents. We've also developed a fantasy series that you'll start out with in career and work your way up from the Extreme Dirt Tour to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series to the Xfinity Series to the Monster Cup Series. Along with that, there will be the ability to purchase a team within those series, and that comes along with, being able to purchase upgrades and hire personnel and those types of tasks. In the fantasy series, or in the fantasy, the Extreme Dirt Tour, there's 8 new tracks, or 7 new tracks, and then Eldora. So we've got 8 tracks in there that players will be able to race in.
So let's talk about that fantasy series for a bit. So you mentioned when we were playing the game that you guys recreated tracks and then also made hybrid tracks and created your own tracks. Yep. Let's just kind of go over that a little bit.
Just, I can do that.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, so in the development of the Extreme Dirt Tour, we looked at creating complete fantasy tracks. So there's 2 ovals and a road course that are completely fantasy. We also went out and scanned some real-world dirt tracks in Texas, Las Vegas, and Charlotte. And then we also created these hybrid tracks that are real-world tracks where we just threw dirt onto the surface. So Bristol and Richmond are in that sort of hybrid category.
So if you're into dirt racing, or you grew up going to dirt tracks and smaller things, like this is definitely it. They definitely slid around the track like a dirt race, and all it was missing was just clumps of dirt hitting the audience and everything. Which is always the best part.
It adds a lot of variety into the career experience.
Speaking of the career, were there any changes to that this year? Yeah,
so we added the ability to purchase a team and actually and have the tasks of owning that team. So upgrades and personnel hiring and those types of tasks in there, along with the driving that our career mode last year had.
And then during the demo, you mentioned that you can really get into the nitty-gritty and kind of customize everything. And then there are also pre-baked sort of customization options for your cars. How detailed can we get?
Very, very detailed. So once you progress enough and you decide that you want to turn the stability controls off, there is the ability to select between 9 different preset car setups, or you can get into the garage and completely customize tire pressures and wedge adjustments, and there's a number of things that you can do to adjust the way the car drives.
Great. And then this is coming for the Xbox One, PS4, and Steam?
Yep. So we launched September 7th on Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
That was the interview by Ren Vickers and Tech Raptor. So that's pretty much it for NASCAR Heat 3 for now. I'm pretty sure I covered everything now. Very upset that I missed some stuff. If you guys are wondering what are the confirmed dirt tracks, there's fantasy, there's hybrid, and then there's confirmed tracks like Ren said in the developer interview. They have Texas, Charlotte, Las Vegas. Then they have a road course. They also have Bristol that's just laid down on dirt. So different varieties. I do like the creativity in fantasy dirt tracks. I just think that's really cool. You avoid like the licensing issues and stuff like that. You don't have to really pay extra for it. You could just create dirt tracks from your imagination and make it work. Like, it doesn't matter, honestly, to me. One of my favorite racetracks is still Turbo, and I think the Red Bull Ring or whatever it was called back in the EA days, that really small track. So guys, if you like the video, make sure to like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Go check out the previous video if you haven't already. That goes in way more in detail with everything NASCAR Heat 3. This one was just covering some things up and fixing that out. Game comes out, I think, September 7th. I did not mention that in the previous video either. Game comes out September 7th for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Available for pre-order now. And the Hendrick guys who are on the cover, their DLC paint schemes will be free, just like how for Toyota last two races, or last two games, the Toyota guys were free. So this time it's going to be the Hendrick guys. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and peace out.
I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change, even if I tried. My love, she keeps me warm.